Hello viewers, how are you? Hope you are fine. Welcome back to my channel Drawing Time with Story. If you are new in my channel, I will introduce myself and my channel with you. I am Suraya Parveen, and in my channel I select an object or a theme to draw, and while drawing you will not get bored. What is the reason? Because I will narrate you a beautiful story. I will gossip with you, I will talk with you, and at the same time, you will enjoy my drawing. So, as you saw that today I drew a dandelion flower. I used both acrylic paint and the oil pastel colors. So let's get started because it is the story time. And if I have time, I will tell you two stories. So let's see what happens. Number one story is The Legend of the Flowers. The angel of the flowers came down to earth once, long, long ago, and she wandered here and there in field and forest and garden to find the flower she loved the most. As she hurried on her search, she came upon a gay tulip, all orange and red, standing stiff and proud in a garden. And the angel said to the tulip, "Where should you like most all to live?" "Oh, I should like to live on a castle, lone in the velvety grass," said the tulip, "where my colors would show against the grey castle walls. I should like to have the princess touch me and tell me how beautiful I am." But the angel turned away with sad eyes from the proud tulip and spoke to the rose. "Where should you like most to stay?" she asked the rose. "I should like to climb the castle walls," said the rose, "for I am fragile and delicate and not able to climb off myself. I need help and shelter." The angel of the flowers turned sadly away from the rose and hurried on until she came to the violet growing in the forest, and she said to the violet, "Where should you like most of all to live?" "Here in the woods, where I am hidden from everyone," said the violet. "The brook cools my feet, and the trees keep the warm sun from spoiling my beautiful color." But the angel turned away from the violet and went on until she came to the sturdy yellow dandelion growing in the meadow grass. "And where should you like most of all to live?" asked the angel of the dandelion. "Oh," cried the dandelion, "I want to live wherever the happy children may find me when they run by to school or romp and play in the fields. I want to live by the roadside and in the meadows and push up between the stones in the city yards and make everyone glad because of my bright colors. You are the flower I love the most," said the angel of the flowers, as she laid her hand upon the dandelion's curly yellow head. "You shall blossom everywhere from spring till fall and be the children's flower. That is why the dandelion comes so early and pushes her head up everywhere, by haze and field and heart and wall, and has such a long, sweet life." Now I will tell you the second story, The Dandelion Who Wanted to See the World. That is a very funny and curious story because the dandelion is told as the flower of children's, the wish flower, because when the flower petals are blown in the air, the children make their wish. They may become true. I am not sure they come true or not, but it's known as the wish flower too. So let's get started to the story. Once there was a dandelion who wanted to see the world. It may seem strange to you that a dandelion should have such notions, but consider her situation. A small circle of leaves in the middle of a large lawn, and all she had ever seen was the dirt beneath, a forest of grass all around, and a patch of sky above her. This didn't satisfy her at all. She didn't know what else there was to see, but she was sure there must be something. There must be something very pretty, very beautiful, amazing. So she was determined that sooner or later she would discover it for herself. And she certainly tried. And this is the most important thing, guys. If you continuously try something, to do something, it will come true. You may gain success. You will surely gain success. The thought naturally came to her quite early that she should grow her leaves above the surrounding grass. Then she should be able to see whatever there was beyond her immediate neighborhood. And this she tried to do. But every week something terrible happened. Brrr, and then suddenly the moor comes to life. Those were the sounds that brought awful fear to the heart of the dandelion. For a while the noise would keep its distance. Brrr. Then it would come close and very loud. Brrr. Then it would move off again. But always, at last, it would happen. But she didn't know what is happening around her. She is very curious to know. A shadow would suddenly come over her. There would be a whirring and a smashing and a mangling in the midst of incredible noise. A second later, when it was over, her leaves were gone and she had been chopped back to the level of the ground. It was a dreadful experience. For 2 days afterwards, the dandelion was in a state of shock. Then, when she began to get her wits back, she said to herself, "Why do I bother?" But then she would take courage and begin all over. She would send up young leaves and try again. She thought to herself that it had to be worth it. And then, one particular week, it didn't happen. The horrible noise didn't start up. Her leaves were allowed to grow higher than they had ever gone before. The reason for that, though the dandelion didn't know it at the time, was what the family whose yard she was living in had gone off for their summer holiday. All she knew was that this time no dreadful shadow descended on her to chop and crush and mangle her, reducing her back to the soil. The dandelion believed she had a chance and that she could still do it. So she did. She pushed her leaves higher with excitement and determination. It was then she saw things that she had never seen before. She saw other growing things besides blades of grass. She saw flowers in beautiful colors. She saw shapes that we would recognize as fences and sheds and houses. It was all very exciting, even it was a little bit hard for her to understand. With great daring, she then began to do something she had never done before, something she had only just realized she could sew. She sent up a stem with a bud on the end. Goodness, she thought, I am going to have a flower. I wonder what color it will be. When the flower opened, She found it was a beautiful golden yellow, and she was very pleased to see the colorful flower. Now she could see all sorts of things, and she just wished she could go to explore them more closely. The fence, the house, the flowers, even moving things, butterflies and birds, cars passing beyond the fence. It was all very strange and a bit confusing, but it was wonderful. After a while, the petals of her flower began to dry up, shrivel, and fall away. But the dandelion didn't mind that, because she suddenly realized there was something else she could do, something else she could become, just as lovely in so one way as the flower. Soon, on the end of the stem where the flower had been, there was a marvelous round, white, fluffy ball. The once blossomed flower of hers had now turned to seed. The dandelion was delighted. But meanwhile, just then the family came back from holiday. "Goodness," father said as he stopped the car in the driveway. "The very first thing I must do is put the mower through the lawn." "Oh, look," said one of the children. "There is a dandelion." She ran over. The dandelion found herself plucked from the ground and lifted up higher than she had ever imagined she could go. The child blew, and the dandelion's downy seeds danced away on her breath, flying higher still and spiraling up upon the soft summer winds. And the dandelion was free at last, free to travel in 100 directions, the directions she wants to move. She was off to see the world, finally expressing what she had always dreamed of and knew she could. As we have time, I will tell you another story. This story's name is Naseruddin's Flower Garden. A young man named Naseruddin planted a flower garden. But when the flowers came up, so did a great crop of dandelions among them. Wishing to eliminate the unwanted guests, Naseruddin consulted with gardeners near and far, but none of their solutions worked. Finally, Naseruddin traveled to the palace of the sheikh to seek the wisdom of the royal gardener himself. But alas, Naseruddin had already tried all the methods the kind old man recommended to him for eradicating such troublesome weeds. Silently, they sat together for a good long time. At last, the royal gardener looked at Naseruddin and said, "Well, then the only thing I can suggest is that you learn to love them." A yard full of golden dandelions in bloom can be a gorgeous sight. Eventually, all those beautiful flowers eventually turn to white globes of exposed seeds that are often called puffballs. Dandelions grow so successfully because those puffballs disperse their seeds over long distance in a stiff breeze. Some dandelions don't need to wait for the wind, though. As dandelions turn to seed, children everywhere rush to pick them so that they can close their eyes, make a wish, and blow the seeds into the air. No one knows for sure how or why people started making wishes on dandelions. These flowers have been around for thousands of years, and people have grown and used dandelions for much of that time. In addition to granting wishes, many people believe that dandelion seeds will carry your thoughts and dreams to loved ones when you blow them into the air. Oh, that's a very lovely thing, I think. So please don't forget to subscribe my channel and stay connected with me, stay connected with Drawing Time with Story, and please review my channel, send your feedback to me through my comment section. I will wait for your comments. Bye.